Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to Card Making Project 534 for anyone counting. Today we're going to make a gorgeous card using our Anna Griffin supplies, and everything I do use I shall put in a detailed list on my blog, so please be sure to check it out. I think today's card has got a great technique that we've used before on a previous card, and it was in a mini series that I did for the easel card die set earlier this year. It was day 3 and we create a double layer of using a card base, and then we use a shadow layer between them, and the pattern just carries on through the actual card. It looks great. I will put the link on my blog together with a list of everything that we've used today, so please be sure to check that out. There's always lots more photos on there as well of both the inside and the outside of the projects. You can always find me on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, so don't be shy, say hello, say a little bit more than hello, but show me what you've created because I love seeing it. Don't forget to give me the thumbs up if you watch me on YouTube, and hit that like button if you see it on Facebook. So without further ado, please sit back, relax, and let's have a look at today's gorgeous project. For today's tutorial, we're going to be using the 22 clay rubber stamps for birthdays from Anna. Now these are an older set. If you don't have them, you'll be able to use any of your newer ones, something maybe from the Treasury collection if you have it. We're going to be using this section here, wishing you the very best birthday, and we're also going to be using the birthday greetings stamp. We're going to be using our lace edge cut and emboss dies. We're going to use both the inner section for the shadow, for the ornate layer, and the outer section for our shadow layer. So we're going to use both, and we're going to use it on the inside as well for the shadow layer. We're also going to be using from the Treasury collection the feline stamps and die set. We're going to be using the pinched frame because I thought it will work well with this card. Now this card, every once in a while a card comes along and it kind of strikes me as, oh, that's going to look quite clever, and it maybe doesn't set out to be that way, but I think this could be one of those. Now our base card is from the Treasury card set and layers, so it was a set that included blank cards in lots of different designs and patterns with layers as well. So these are the butterflies in the pink and the gold, and it's like an ochre olivey type of colour. So on the back of the cards, don't forget, handmade by, and add your name, so then the person that receives it knows who's made it for them when it stands on their mantelpiece. So I'm going to use my bone folder, and this is from the Anna Griffin tool collection that's been available at both sides of the pond. And I'm just running it along the card to make sure that crease is nice and sharp. And as always, we're going to create the inside first. Now the inside of this card is quite ornate, I think, but it's still flat, and I think you're really going to like this one. So for the outside, I use another one of the butterfly cards, because in the Treasury collection, I can't remember if you get 2 or 3 of each design, but I've used another one, and I've used it where I've die cut the lace die, and it's the shadow layer. So what I've had left over, I've cut down to make for the insert, so that I'm not wasting anything. Now I've got flat tape on the back of this, so I'm simply going to peel the back of the tape away, and then we're going to add this into our card. So the inside will definitely match the outside. So I don't want to make a mess of this, so I'm going to, at home you'll be able to do it under your own steam, but here I have to do it in such a way that you can see rather than I can see. So I think that's about right. So I can lay that down. There we go. So that sits on the inside of our card. My next layer is a shadow layer cut from ivory cardstock of the actual lace cut and embossed die. So you can see how the aperture that was cut out of that for the front, this is the inner section, shall we say. And this is going to sit perfectly just on the base layer of the butterflies, like that. Next, in the Treasury card and layer set, I mentioned the layers. This is one of the layers that there is in there, and it marries up perfectly with the colours from the butterflies. And I'm going to use it in that direction. I've just got flat tape on the back of it. I had flat tape on the previous layer as well. Sorry, I'm forgetting to tell you what tape I've got on. Next, this is where the feline die set has come in, where we've used the pinched frame. I've just die cut some of the spare card out of the second one that I've used, just to make a mat for my layer that we're going to add with the sentiment on. So I'm going to add that. It had flat tape on, and then the top layer, using the pinched frame that I've die cut in ivory cardstock, says wishing you the very best birthday. Now this was from the clear stamps. I just want to show you how I took this, because it's actually got a frame around it and I just wanted the wording. So I put washi tape across the actual square itself and just left the wording that I inked up, and then I was able to stamp onto my ivory cardstock and then die cut it. And I think it worked really well, and it works perfectly for this card. So there we go. That's our sentiment layer going on top of our butterfly layer as our mat and layer for the front. And that is our insert complete. How pretty is that? That's like a card front in itself. Not a lot of room if you wanted to write an essay to a friend if you're sending the card, but I would send that on a separate piece of paper anyway. But there's enough room for you to and you from. So look how pretty it is. I inked the edges of the shadow frame, I should have said really, but I was running away with myself. I just lightly blended ink around the edge. I haven't heat embossed it this time, but it's just a little bit of ink so you can see the edge really. So now we can do the front of our card. And to say how ornate it's going to be, I think it's quite simple really. It's only a few steps to putting it together. Now for the base of our card, I'm keeping it as the butterflies because I want to keep that. And it's all going to lay together. Now the shadow layer that I've cut out in ivory cardstock, I've added ink to it and I've heat embossed it. Not very well, because I thought, you know what, it's alright me doing it perfectly. You might not do it perfectly at home and you might think, oh no, I'll have to start again. So what I thought was, I'm going to overheat it. I'm going to add my colours and not ink them and blend them neatly. I'm just going to stamp the ink pad on it, so you can see how it's quite random and it's not blended, and you can see where I've overheated it. It's on 3D foam, excess of 3D foam, you don't need that much really, but mine was starting to curl up and I had to keep it flat, so I put excess on. And I'm going to position it roughly through the centre, like that, and press it down. And now you're thinking, oh no, what a mess, Anne-Marie. But my next layer is the lace fancy layer. Now we've done this technique before, we did it on a birthday card and it just looks so cool. So I thought we will do it again on the butterfly card and see if we can make this look as equally as attractive. So I've cut out the layer from the lace ornate layer die into the butterfly cardstock. So this was the second card that we've got. And I've cut it out, and I'm hoping that the pattern now is going to marry up with the pattern that's on the previous layer. If it's out a little bit, it's fine. But it's kind of, yeah, I think I'm looking at this one here through the camera, and I'm looking at this one here. They're my markers, really. And I'm going to press it down. There we go. And yeah, I think that's about right. I like that effect. So next, I've got one of the layers, like we used the layer for the inside, I've got a layer for the outside on 3D foam, again from the Treasury card and layer set. And I'm going to run that just in the centre of the card, like so. And then, as we did for the inside, I've got 2 layers from the pinched frame. Excuse me. And the first one was on flat tape, and the second one is just ivory with the stamped sentiment birthday greetings, and that's on 3D foam. So that will mat and layer on the previous layer, like so. So already we can see that it's all building up nicely. From the extra card that I'd cut out of the lace layer, I've got 2 butterflies that I managed to save, and it just so happens they're the gold ones. So I've got them on 3D foam and I've got them on flat tape. Now my first thought, I'm going to be honest, I was going to add them top and bottom, because I thought, oh, that's going to look nice. But then I thought, I really like the layered look where the butterflies are on the card like that. I just think it just works so well, because this one, where it's over the actual centre layer, just looks so pretty. And then, as always, because I just have to add a bow, I just want to add a little bow. Now what I should have done really was 2 bows. That would look really, really excessive. But I'm thinking just at the bottom of the sentiment there. And that is our card finished. How pretty is that? And the insert matches perfectly to the outside. Stands up, and the layers, look at those layers. How cool is that? And the way the pattern matches. And now, pointing out the inking that looked so bad when you saw the layer, now it's like perfection, because it's covered over and it's just poking through underneath the lace layer. And you can see I've used the 2 colours of the ink. I haven't even blended it to make an ombre effect, but it just works and it makes it stand out. And I think that is just, that will go on a mantelpiece and be a mantelpiece pleaser. And whoever gets that will keep it forever. And it's just a few simple steps to make something that looks so pretty. I will take extra photos and put them on my blog, so please check it out. I'll take photos of the inside as well as the outside. Please give me the thumbs up. I always forget to ask you to do that. And please share with your crafty friends. I just hope you enjoy watching, and I do love hearing from you. So I'd like to say thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.